Hello again for the third time. Our new format continues where we ask each other questions. Or is it axe? No, it's ask. Put the axe away. That's not for this setting.
Okay.
This is cyberpunk. So, I guess you could, but it's not really on theme.
Right.
So, the question for today is one that I ask of Steve. I am Ian, he is Steve. And so, okay. The question is, would you please set up an introductory adventure for this setting in 5 minutes or less?
All right, and here we go. I have an axe to grind with this situation. I knew I'd get that in somewhere. All right. 5 minutes or less, here we go. Step 1. It does not actually matter how many characters you have. Setting up an introductory adventure for this system is very, very simple. The first thing you need to do is decide on where. For ease of reference, we're going to talk about Nuevo Paradiso, because that is where we've been setting up for all of our situations so far. So where in this case is specifically, where on the island is it going to take place? Decide on the where. In this case, we are going to decide on somewhere in the middle ring. The meat is going to be in the middle ring. The job is going to be on the outer ring. We're going to have the players do a job in a warehouse. This is a beginning session, so it's not going to presuppose on any long-term ties that the players have with any specific group.
So who offers them the job?
In this case, who offers them the job, we are going to go right ahead and we are going to say that they are approached by a member of the Yakuza to pilfer a shipment from a triad warehouse.
A tattooed man who's missing a couple fingers offers you and says, I got some money if you want a job.
With or without the accent. The reason we're going to go with this is several-fold. First, it is simple. It is a very simple thing. It is a staple of cyberpunk fiction, and it does not care who the characters are. We're actually going to build that in. This person is looking for someone completely disposable. On the one hand, if the players prove competent, great. They have just done a job, they have just proven their worth, and the Yakuza is up a couple of assets. If the players prove unsuitable, great. They're actually planning another job across town that this is a distraction for. So if the players get in there, make a lot of noise, and totally flop the job, well, what does the Yakuza care if they get arrested, killed, burned, etc.? So this is literally a win-win situation for the person hiring them. If they fail, then the Yakuza's out a couple of credits. If they succeed, great. The Yakuza has people who are now in their pocket. How am I going to set this up? One of the PCs should have a reputation as someone who is willing to do work for money. Another of the PCs should have a bone to pick with a crime faction. This could actually be the Yakuza. This could be a rival crime faction. But the important part is that if a PC can at all have a bone to pick with them, they have an in. If they have a bone to pick with the Yakuza,
Question.
great. Answer.
What does the GM do if the players don't conveniently have these things before the GM tells them?
If the players conveniently don't have these things before the GM tells them, that's actually not a problem. The GM can easily provide them. Remember, the characters are only special by virtue of the fact that they are the characters. They exist in the world, which means that the world exists with them. The players, no matter how detailed the backstory, will not have detailed literally everything that happens to the character up until this point. It is very simple to throw these bones into the pre-game briefing and simply say, Bob, you were approached by a member of the Triads last week who roughed up your father and broke his storefront with bricks. Another option, and this is something that I have used myself to pretty good effect, is shortly after character creation, or even as the last step in character creation, to hand the players a list of hooks and say, each of you must pick one of these. If someone has trouble picking one of those, you can talk them through and simply say, hey, by the way, no, you say now your character wouldn't do this. I'm saying that your character has done this. Let's work together and figure out why. Because a large part of role-playing...
Maybe they wouldn't do this anymore.
Or maybe they didn't think they would do this. The drama in role-playing always comes from the reaction of characters to the unexpected. If we're simply talking about how characters react to the normal and the expected, that's a very, very boring story. Because if it's normal, it's boring. There's no fun in routine. If aliens really was just in the routine bug hunt, etc. I know.
So, we are now going to answer the final part of this question, which is ending this scenario. So we've set up this introductory job. How do we make it play out and end?
At the end of the scenario, there's really only three options. The players succeed at the job that was given to them, the players fail at the job that was given to them, or the players take an unexpected direction. If the players succeed at the job that was given to them, great. They've now done a job for the Yakuza. They're in the Yakuza's pocket. Remember, if you do an initial job for them, you are not paying off a debt. You are getting yourself in trouble and proving to them that you're willing to do work for money. If they fail at the job given to them, this is possibly more interesting because now they have to look over their shoulder wondering if the Yakuza is coming after them. Whether they are or they are not, if they survive, then the triads are likely coming after them. If they don't survive, they don't survive. But they might end up, for instance, surrendering to the triads. They might end up on the run from multiple crime groups, or they might end up doing something else entirely. If they do something unexpected, this can take multiple forms, but what this really represents is the players taking the story into their own hands, which is a very good thing, because self-motivated players means that the GM actually has to plot out a lot less, certainly a lot less hooks. Doing something different could mean something as simple as going to the triad and saying, hey, we were hired to break into your warehouse.
But we don't have time for more examples because we're out of time this week.
All right.
Today. So, tomorrow we will get back to you with another question and at least another reply, if not another answer.
There we go.